Hello and welcome to Joy-Con Cast episode 13. I'm your host Nicholas and welcome to this week's episode where we are going to be talking about everything regarding that latest Nintendo Direct. Last week, Nintendo released a 15-minute Nintendo Direct focusing on Super Mario Maker 2 and all of the new content coming its way. Now, in typical Nintendo fashion, this was actually released after I recorded last week's episode. So obviously I didn't get a chance to talk about it in last week's episode of the cast, but that's what this week's topic is going to be all about, because Nintendo, there is so much that Nintendo added to Super Mario Maker 2. I have my notes here, just a bullet list of everything that Nintendo added to the game, such as items, levels, characters, themes, modes, so much. And this is even everything. This is just a handful of stuff. This doesn't even go into some of the online stuff, and some of the other cool things that were mentioned during the Direct. So there is so much to discuss this week. But Super Mario Maker 2 hits Nintendo Switch on June 28th. This is the sequel to the 2015 title, Super Mario Maker, that was released on Wii U. And if you think this is a simple port, or Nintendo is simply taking Super Mario Maker 1 and dragging it onto Switch, that is definitely not the case. This game is filled with so much new stuff, and I'm kind of surprised, because it feels like in this day and age with gaming, sequels don't really do much to be all that different from their predecessor. It feels like it's usually just more or less the same with maybe a couple new additions. But Super Mario Maker 2 is really killing it in the content department. There's so much added to this, and it's so cool to see Nintendo take a sequel and actually make it worth being a proper sequel. So let's run through everything that Nintendo has added to the game. But first, I will let you guys know it is now available for pre-download on the eShop. So you can go now and, of course, pre-download Super Mario Maker 2. The base game is $59.99. However, there's actually a bundle with Nintendo Switch Online, which is only $69.99. So basically, for an extra $10, you can get 12 months of Nintendo Switch Online, which is normally $20. So if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, you can buy this bundle for half the price, get a whole year of Nintendo Switch Online. Or if you already have it, this 12 months will basically be added on your current plan. It'll be added on your current subscription. So this is kind of a no-brainer, I think. For an extra $10, you can get Switch Online, which is normally $20. So whether you have the service or not, this is kind of a decent deal. For half the price of Nintendo Switch Online, you can get a whole year of it. So this is definitely what I'll be doing. I'll definitely be getting the bundle with the online, just because in the long run, I'm going to save that extra $10. So I thought I'd mention that. It's a pretty decent bundle, so I'd highly recommend snatching that up. Since there is a lot of, and we'll get to it at the end here, but there's a lot that you can do with online, so it's definitely going to be a big deal with this game. But let's go ahead and talk about Super Mario Maker 2 and all of the new content that Nintendo has crammed inside of it. So there's a ton of new themes, items, and mechanics being added to Super Mario Maker 2. We have some new items and mechanics, such as slopes, the Angry Sun, which will follow you around and attack you as you play through the level. We have Snake Block, the on and off switch, which I'm excited to see that implemented. Like I said before, I've never played the first Mario Maker, but I have seen people on YouTube and Twitch play through different levels, and there are some really creative levels in that game, especially with what felt like, especially compared to this game, with such little items or not little items, but like adding an on-off switch is going to open a door of tons of unique ideas that players have. So adding some of these mechanics and items, some of them are kind of odd. I don't know what you'll use them for exactly, but it's going to be really cool to see players implement them in their levels. So we have the on and off switch, we have a seesaw of all things, and the swinging claw. So again, some really odd items, but I think it's gonna be really, really cool. Like I said, there's been some really, really interesting levels done in the previous Mario Maker title, and with this game just getting a bunch of new mechanics and new items to work with, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how people interpret these items. We've all played Nintendo's levels before, but playing the levels made by the actual players, it's kind of exciting. So some of these items are very odd to add, but I think they're gonna be unique, and I think it's gonna be really cool to play through levels with these items added. Along with that, we also have levels, which I thought was really, really cool. So instead of just having a typical normal level, you can actually mix things up and add in a water level, which you can change the heights of the water, change the heights throughout. You can opt for a lava level, which is basically water level, but has blazing hot lava, which is pretty cool. We also now have scrolling, so you can add a custom scroll to your level. This includes changing the speed, different speeds at different points throughout the game, so you can make it start off initially slow, and then once Mario hits a certain point, speed it up and make it go even faster. Along with that, we now have vertical scrolling levels, so instead of just going from left to right horizontally, we can now go up. We can now have vertical scrolling levels, which is going to be very, very, very interesting to see as well. Those were never my favorites personally, but they are now in Super Mario Maker 2. You can also have scroll stop, which means that when you get to a specific area, the scrolling will stop, and you can use this to hide items or hide certain areas within your level by stopping the scroll, which I think there's going to be some cool stuff interpreted with that as well. There's also a ton of more items and enemies and different objectives. Bonsai bills or bullet bills. There's bonsai bills which can be manipulated and change the direction to go. So if you want them going from like the left of the screen to the right, or from the bottom right to the top left, or whatever it may be, you can now do that. While the red bills have a honing function, which can go straight for Mario and blow up anything in their sight. Dry bones, you can now use dry bones shells. These can be used to, Mario can basically ride in them to become immune to lava. So for all of those lava levels that we're going to see, dry bones shells are going to be sweet items to carry around in the levels. So make us immune to the lava, which is always good. Big coins. Big coins are now an item. They can be selected to be worth 10, 30, or even 50 coins. So this is going to be one of those cool little extra challenge to throw in for all of those people who are coin collectors, who want to collect the most coins they can throughout the level. You can throw one of these in a very obtuse area and make it be worth up to 50 coins. So, and this is also, I know we'll talk about this, it's within the list here, but there's also certain, where did I have it? It's actually up next, another part of my list, but you can also use these for clear conditions, which are basically requirements or challenges that you need to set before you clear the level in order to actually win. So you can say, hey, before you get to the flagpole, collect 2,000 coins that you need to collect to clear the level. And so then you can use the big coins, scatter them around, maybe put them in very odd or hard to get places, and really, really make it a challenge to complete the level. So you can use Bitcoins for that. And of course, just to place them as rewards for clearing specific areas of your level. And even more, there's even more stuff being added. We have new sound effects for enemies. You have new sound effects that you can use for enemies or just place around your level, because why not? There is now co-op, which is really cool. And that includes creation co-op, so you can actually make a level with a friend. I can't even imagine or begin to imagine the mayhem that would that would be, creating a level with somebody. But you can now do that. Like I mentioned, clear levels, which basically allows you to set requirements for your level, such as collecting a certain amount of coins, defeating a certain amount of enemies, or defeating all of a specific enemy like a Goomba or Dry Bones, etc., etc. Or more challenges or requirements that must be completed prior to reaching the flag. So, if you make your way through a level as if clearing or getting to the flag wasn't enough, you can now set clear conditions or basically extra challenges that must be met before you get to the flagpole. And I think that's going to be really, really cool as well. I'm excited to see some of the crazy levels that are themed around clear conditions, levels that maybe are filled with coins and you need to collect a certain amount of coins, and there's just enough within the level to get it. So that's going to be really, really cool to see. I think there's going to be some really cool challenging levels that add kind of sort of an extra flair to the level. So clear conditions are now a thing. We also have twisters, which basically allows you to rise up in a path of wind. Icicles, these can fall from the sky as a player runs under them. And there's even more. It does not stop there. There's so much being added. Red Yoshi, you can ride a Red Yoshi, which breathes fire. You can use parachutes. These are placed on enemies to slow down their fall. You also have Boom Boom. In case you wanted Boom Boom, he'll just throw his fists around for as long as he can. And something interesting being added to Mario Maker 2 is a story mode. I don't believe there was a story mode in Super Mario Maker 1. I'm pretty sure there was not. But this kind of came as a surprise. But there's a new story mode. So within this story mode, you basically play through 100 levels. They're created by Nintendo. They're normal, typical Nintendo levels. And as you play through all the levels, you must earn coins that can then be used to rebuild Peach's castle. So I thought this was pretty cool. Even if maybe you don't like the idea of creating your own levels or playing player created levels or sharing levels or stuff like that within the game, for $60 you get all of that, but you also get a normal, typical Mario platformer, which I think is pretty cool. Even if you don't want to do all the actual Mario Maker mechanics and stuff like that within the game, that the game is known for, that the game is based around, you have other options. So I think this was a really, really cool addition to the game. Even if you don't like all of that, you still get a pretty straightforward, typical, normal Mario game. It's 100 levels. They're Nintendo created levels, so you kind of know, based on what we've seen in the past, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And it's kind of interesting too. It kind of makes sense why the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe port was released earlier this year. While that game, I'm sure, still has some value after Mario Maker 2 comes out, for that being a port of a Wii U game and being just the new Super Mario Bros. Games, the new Mario games aren't so new anymore. It doesn't hold as much value over Super Mario Maker 2, I feel like, because yeah, that's a typical normal Mario platformer. You know what you're getting yourself into with the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. When it comes to Mario Maker 2, it's newer. First of all, it's a new Mario game with new Mario levels created by Nintendo. But you also get the ability to create your own levels and to share your own levels, and you get every item and more that I just was talking about. So I feel like this, for anybody who's a fan of platformers or specifically Mario games, this kind of seems like the ultimate Mario game. You're getting Mario Story Mode, and while it may not be as fleshed out or developed as past Mario games, I mean, is there any Mario story that was really, and I'm talking about platformers here, that was really life changing or all that great? I don't know, but you're still getting a pretty decent story mode from the looks of it, plus a whole creation mode filled with tools and just so many mechanics and items to use. This really is shaping up to be the ultimate Mario game. This is kind of like Super Mario Maker or Mario Ultimate. Like Smash Bros. Was the ultimate Smash Bros. Game. You're basically getting everything from every Smash Bros. Game and then more. That's kind of what Super Mario Maker 2 is kind of looking like. So I'm very, very impressed by the sheer number of content added to the game, plus everything that's already being taken over from the first Mario Maker game. But then to add a story mode over it to really just flesh it out and really make it a kind of a proper Mario game is very impressive. It's very impressive. It's very, very impressive. So I'm not buying this for the story mode. I personally wouldn't. I'm more interested in the actual creation part of the game. But if that's not something that's up your alley, for $60, you're still getting a basic story mode within the game. Plus all the different tools and assets for you to create your own game, which is very impressive. So I don't know. I thought that was really, really cool. It's one of those things that Nintendo doesn't have to add. They don't have to add it, especially when there is already so much to do within the game. Because adding that story mode really fleshes this out and really just hones in on the idea that this is kind of one of the ultimate Mario games. And it's on the Switch. So it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. So if you're not a fan of all the creation stuff, you do get story mode, which is pretty cool. So moving on, that's not it though. We still have a lot more to discuss here. Themes. So instead of just having a typical theme, a normal world, you can now change the time, change the location, and when it comes to whether it's a day or night level, there's a lot that you can add, a lot that you can change. So let's go ahead and get into some of the themes. So of course, you have desert, pretty straightforward. Snow, pretty straightforward. Forest, sky. But then you get something really cool. You basically get day and night. You get the moon in night levels, which can really change the way the game is played. And there's a lot that you can actually do with this. So, within different night levels, you can actually add new enemies, items, or mechanics, or new ways to play through the level. So, you can actually use the moon in night levels. When the moon is on screen, you can hit it to destroy all the enemies on screen, which is pretty OP. It's pretty cool. For ground levels at night, you can use this to make Goombas float around, which is funny. For underground levels at night, the level will actually flip upside down. Also at night, this one looked really, really cool. I'm excited for this one because I do like these levels in. I know there was a ton in like the new, or not a ton, but there's some cool ones in the new Super Mario Bros. Games. On night levels, you can add a ghost house. So you can create a ghost house. A circle of light will follow around Mario through a dark house. So you have a dimly lit circle around Mario, and the rest of the screen will basically be pitch black. During sky levels at night, gravity is reduced, which is really gonna throw you off axis. It's really gonna throw you off. During desert levels at night, there'll be a sandstorm that endures in the background. During snow levels at night, you can actually add in snow and add extra slippery ice. During the forest levels at night, instead of having normal water, it'll actually be replaced with none other than acidic, poisonous water. I don't know if it's actually acidic, but it's kind of like acid, right? Poisonous water. And then also night levels will turn an ordinary mushroom into a sinister enemy to avoid. So that's pretty cool. Adding or making your levels nighttime adds in a whole new set of challenges and things that you need to prepare for, from reduced gravity to more slippery ice. It's really, really cool. It's things like that. It's things like that. Small little ideas, small little features that can really affect how the game is played. So that alone, just making your level nighttime, adds in a whole plethora of challenges and things to avoid and things to look out for. So it's pretty cool. That was the night levels. Moving on, we also now have a new mode called Super Mario 3D World, which will basically, it's the Super Mario 3D World style. And basically in this mode, everything is none other than Super Mario 3D World style. So it's a new mode which features enemies and items exclusive to this mode from the game it's based on. You get Cat Mario, which will allow you to scratch enemies. You can pounce, climb up walls, climb up the goalpost, etc., etc. I liked Cat Mario from 3D World. I thought it was a very interesting and different way to play as Mario. So you get that. You get crates. You can put these on water so that you have something to jump on and basically create paths where otherwise there would be nothing. Clear pipes. You can place clear pipes. You can change the shape and direction. Of course, enemies can slide through these as well, so watch out. Then we have the exclamation point block. And basically when you hit this, it kind of, I guess, extends out or moves out. It kind of grows, so you get multiple blocks outside of it. The spike blocks. These are blocks of spikes that you can change to go in and out, or they can also be changed with the on and off switch, which is, again, as we mentioned earlier with the on and off switch, there's a lot of cool things that players are going to find to mess us up with. Blinking block. These are the blocks that change between, I think they change between like red and blue, and I think these are the ones that you can have like a row of them. The red ones will be solid, and then they'll change to blue, and then you can fall through them. They'll become transparent or empty, I believe. You have the track block, which will follow a set path, and it will not move until the player steps on it. You have the piranha creeper, which are basically the piranha plants, but you can choose their path to really snatch up Mario. Mushroom trampolines, the bouncy mushroom tops, they can basically bounce on like a trampoline. It's pretty straightforward. Skip squeak, those are the little, I think they're like rats. They're little rats that basically match Mario's jumps. And when I saw this on screen, the Koopa Troopa car, I was like, "Whoa! This is obviously this is mayhem. This is manic. You can drive a car throughout levels. This is crazy. What the heck is this? Like I said, this is the ultimate Mario game. There is no other Mario game quite like this. What on earth? You can drive a vehicle. Link drove a vehicle in Breath of the Wild DLC. He drove a bike. Mario's driving a car in Super Mario Maker. What is going on? You can add pom-poms. These ninjas will throw shurikens and create copies or clones of herself. The Super Mario 3D World Bullet Bill or Banzai Bill can fly through or can fly towards the screen. It can destroy anything in its way, anything it sets its eyes to. It can blow up. And then of course you get the different Super Mario 3D World enemies. Like the different bullet bills, ghosts, Meowser, all of those different little guys. So there's a whole mode just for 3D World, which is really cool because you're getting like so much. You're getting so many different you're getting so many items and mechanics based off different games, and now we have a whole different mode just for Mario, just for 3D World. So it's really, really cool. It really is. It's really, really impressive to see that. I'm excited to play that. I personally liked 3D World. So to get a whole mode on it is, there's just so much to do. There's so much to see. There's so many different styled games that you can make your levels based off of. So it's really, really cool. Moving on though, like I said earlier, Nintendo Switch Online is going to be a big deal for this game. You can pre-purchase a year's worth of the service along with the copy of your game. So I would definitely recommend doing it. You're saving an extra $10. And for that extra $10 on top of the $60, you're getting it in one swift motion with Super Mario Maker. So let's go through some of the features and some of the ways Nintendo Switch Online is going to be, I guess, embraced in Super Mario Maker 2. So, first off, you have, and for this is all just basically the online stuff, the different features of the game. So your course world is kind of your main menu hub from what it looks like for online stuff. You can play through the different courses that players create, check out leaderboards to compare you and other players and how well you guys do. There's the network play, which basically allows you to play with your friends through online. And endless challenge, which will put you to the test. You have to clear as many courses before getting a game over. And this is where you can climb the leaderboards, as mentioned before. So an extra little mode on top of the already so much stuff within the game. So that's the endless challenge. The courses are where, of course, you can find all of the crazy, insane player-created levels. There are now filters as well. So you can search for courses that are more specific to you and what you want to play. So there's different tags you can use to set levels and search for levels, which is going to be very, very helpful. And you can download courses for offline use. So if you see a course you like, you can download it offline. Download it for offline. So when you play your Switch on the go, which I'm assuming a lot of people do, you don't need to be connected to the internet to play those courses, which I believe Smash Bros. Ultimate did with their stage builder as well. So I really like that. I think that's really, really cool, being able to download stuff like that so you can play when you're not online. You can leave comments on courses at specific points or once you finish a level. You also have maker profiles. So as you play through courses, you can earn points by other players liking the courses you've made. You can use this to customize your in-game character, which is your me, with shirts and hats and different. You can also have like different medals for your character, so you get a little character within the game. Network play. So this allows you to play with 4 players to compete or play together throughout the different courses. So you have multiplayer versus, which will basically put 4 of you guys against each other to race to the finish line and finish first on randomly selected courses. There's also a versus rank within that. You have multiplayer co-op, which is where instead of going up against each other, you're working alongside each other. You have 4 players that can play with this, and you all need to work together to clear the level. All players finish and win the course when one player reaches the finish line. When you reach that flag, nearby play allows up to 4 players, each with their own Nintendo Switch and copy of Super Mario Maker 2, to play together locally. Only one of you guys need an internet connection for this function to work, which is kind of odd, I guess. For local play, usually you don't need internet from my experience with it, but maybe there's something different going on. But that is all the online goodness. Crammed into Super Mario Maker 2. There is much more added to the game. I kind of skipped over some stuff, but for the most part, that's everything that Nintendo talked about in that 15-minute direct regarding Super Mario Maker 2. There is so much to see, so much to do, and like I said, I'm kind of glad. I'm very glad to see this much stuff being added to a game that could have easily been a port. Nintendo could have easily dragged over the Wii U game and just put it on Switch, but they didn't. I think this is one of those games that will benefit greatly from having all these new mechanics, games that you can stylize your levels after, new items, new enemies, new the requirements that you have to complete prior to finishing a level. I think it's really, really going to come together to create a very, very cool experience. And like I said, even if you're not a fan of creating levels with story mode and the online courses, there is so much there is an endless amount of content with this game. And I think that's what's so cool about it, is that even after you complete story mode, there are going to be thousands and thousands of player created courses for you to put your skills to the test and play through. So honestly, this is looking to be a very, very fun game. I'm definitely buying this game day one. It looks so much fun. I'm sure we'll see more stuff announced at E3. I'm sure this will be not a big title for Nintendo to discuss, but it is kind of their big summer game, alongside Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Marvel Ultimate Alliance comes out. But this is kind of one of their bigger summer games, so I'm sure we're gonna see something about it. If not information about it, then at least a little teaser regarding it. So but yeah, I'm excited to see any more information regarding the game. But this looks like it, for the most part, this should be it. I don't know what more Nintendo could add, but I'm sure they'll sneak something in, knowing Nintendo. But honestly, the game looks incredible. It looks like it's just filled with so much to see, so much to do, and I'm very excited to get my hands on it. But before we wrap up this week's episode, there's actually something new that Nintendo announced during their Direct. Something that I've been kind of asking for in some way ever since Nintendo Switch Online was available for purchase, and you could sign up for the service. I've been wanting a way to save a little more money on Switch games. This is something that PlayStation does with PS Plus. They give away 2 games every month that are usually bigger AAA games, or just really, really good games in general. Sometimes there's some misses, but most of the times it's a hit. Along with that, they also do frequent deals on the PlayStation Store. And if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get an extra little percentage off. So if a game's already half off, as a PS Plus member, you may get an extra 10% off the game. So I've been asking Nintendo, I've wanted Nintendo to do something like that forever, because Switch games do go on sale very often. Maybe not the first party games, but there's definitely a heavy lineup of games on Switch that go on sale very, very frequently. And it would be very, very cool if, as a Switch Online member, I could get an extra percentage off, or I could, there's a way that I could save a couple extra bucks, because I think that's important. I think if you're spending an extra $20 for something, adding in a way for people to save money so that they can put that towards the Switch Online, I think that's a smart thing to do. And Nintendo kind of did that with a new feature, a new special offer for Nintendo Switch Online members. So this is exclusive for Nintendo Switch Online members. It's a special limited time offer. For some reason, it's limited. And that is Nintendo Switch game vouchers. So basically how this works, if you are a Nintendo Switch Online member, you can go to the eShop now, and for $99.99, buy a pack of game vouchers. You get 2 for the price of $100, basically. And you can buy these through July 31st of this year. So it's a limited time thing. You only have so much time to do this. Once they are purchased, you have 1 year to use them. So 365 days to the day that you bought it this year. So if you buy it, for example, today, May 23rd, 2019, you have until May 23rd, 2020 to actually put them to use. And you can redeem the vouchers for a digital game on Nintendo.com or through the Nintendo eShop. They're valid, again, a year after you buy them, but they don't have to be used at the same time. So basically, you buy for $100, you get 2 vouchers. You can then use those 2 vouchers and use one voucher for one $60 game and use the other voucher for another $60 game, which basically gives you 2 $60 games for $100. So you're going to save $20 by doing this. I'll run through some of the, not all of them, but I'll run through some of the select games that you can actually use these vouchers for. Of course, if not all of the actual Nintendo games support this. So you can use this right away on Super Mario Maker 2, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Kirby Star Allies, Mario Tennis Aces, Super Mario Party, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Yoshi's Crafted World, Fire Emblem Warriors, Pokken Tournament Deluxe, Fitness Boxing, Octopath Traveler, The World Ends With You, and a couple others. So basically most, if not all of the actual first party games are supported. And I think games like, I know games like Fire Emblem will work, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Astral Chain, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Luigi's Mansion 3, so on and so forth. Those will all work with this. So this is interesting. This is kind of cool. I think it's, for me, I'm already all digital with my Switch. I don't need convincing to do it. I don't need anyone to tell me the pros or cons. I love it. I love going all digital on Switch. It makes buying games so much easier, simpler. Swapping between them is a breeze, especially when I'm away from, my room and I don't want to carry my cartridges on me. So I'm all digital. So if you're not already all digital, I don't know how much of an offer this is going to be, but at least the extra $20 that you save from this offer, you can end up putting towards the online subscription, so it kind of ends up paying for itself in a way. So hopefully we see more deals and special offers like this integrated in the future, because I think it is a good first step for that sort of thing. So either way, that's all we have this week. The Nintendo Direct kind of filled up all the time we have. But hey, there's a lot being added to Super Mario Maker, so that's always good. But hopefully you enjoyed. If you want to support, Patreon is in the description. As always, if you want to follow us on Twitter, again, check the description. But above all else, take care. I'll catch you in the next one.